Are you ready to branch out, to take a leap of faith, to love yourself and others fully? Then let go of whatever no longer serves you to take action now on Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills, living it up, loving it up, and letting it go. Erica will energize and excite you to power up your passionate dream that sets your soul on fire. With Erica's E3 approach, equipping, empowering, and enlightening yourself so you can be yourself for yourself. Get ready and get rooted to live a life without regrets, without what ifs, without should haves, and especially without empty feelings from a life unexplored. This hit show helps you build powerful and intentional roots to live it up, love it up, and let it go. Get fearlessly ready and powerfully rooted in your yes with your host, Erica Gifford Mills, and be fearless about your more and stand in your yes. Now on Get Rooted Radio.
Welcome, everyone. I am Erica Gifford Mills, and you are listening to Get Rooted Radio, living it up, loving it up, letting it go, right here on Transformation Talk Revolution. A shout out to my producer today, Emily. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. The sun is finally out here in Seattle.
Wonderful. And I know it's been beautiful weather that we've had in the Midwest as well. It had some rain, but it's okay. You know, that makes everything green and beautiful, but the sun has been out. The temperatures have been wonderful. And I cannot tell you how excited I am for today's episode, which is titled Rooted in Reinvention, From Government Service to the Runway. In this such inspiring episode, I get to sit down with Ingrid Campbell. Now, I met Ingrid, this is a true story, New York Fashion Week in our hotel lobby bar. And I loved her from the moment I sat down next to her. So she is a woman whose journey proves it is never too late to reinvent yourself, reclaim your visibility, and boldly step into purpose. We're going to dive into motherhood, mentorship, career evolution, and the courage it takes to pursue dreams later in life. Ingrid will open up about balancing family and professional success, mentoring young professionals, and what legacy truly means to her as a mother, grandmother, author, and leader. Listeners, please be ready to be encouraged, empowered, and reminded that your story still matters, your dreams are still valid, and reinvention has no expiration date. But I'd like to introduce my guest. Ingrid Campbell is an entrepreneur, fashion designer, author, mentor, and founder of Blue Topaz Swimwear. With more than 27 years supporting federal government agencies in Washington, D.C. area, Ingrid has built a legacy rooted in leadership, mentorship, and reinvention. Now making waves on runways from New York Fashion Week to Miami Swim Week. Thank you so much for being on the show today, Ingrid.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I mean, you said it perfectly. When we met each other, it was just like something so dynamic, and we kind of connected and kept in touch. So I'm excited to be here.
I am as well. So during this first segment, we're going to talk about rooted beginnings. From time spent in Mobile to Massachusetts to California, specifically how environment, culture, and early experiences shape resilience, adaptability, and identity. So you've lived in so many places growing up, right? I know you spent time, I believe, with your grandmother in Mobile, and you went to Massachusetts and California, as I mentioned. But how did those experiences shape who you are today?
Well, I want to say I was born in Mobile, Alabama. I left at the age of 5 months. My dad was in the Navy. My mom's family moved up north to Massachusetts. And so that was my foundation. New England was my foundation. And every summer, my mother would let us fly to Mobile to spend with my grandparents. Every single summer, we did not miss a summer. So I just feel like from the beginning, being able to travel, she put us on a plane back in the day. Eastern Airlines would watch your children, you know, they would tag us on the flight, make sure we do the connecting flight in Atlanta. So I just feel like that started me to wanting to travel and being very independent. I'm the oldest of 3 daughters. My mom had 3 girls. I was always the leader. I had to always take care of my 2 young sisters. So, and then from there, once I kind of went to school in New England, my family relocated to Long Beach, California. My dad's side was from California. A lot of them lived in California. So from an early age in junior high, I moved to Long Beach, California. So I pretty much was from New England Mobile, Long Beach, California. I ended my, I want to say I went to high school in California. I went to college for a few years. I was a young mother, got married young. So I just feel like the foundation, being able to be independent and travel and be open to meeting other people, other cultures is so important. So that is
Yeah.
very important to me.
And now very different, right? Because you have East Coast, got Southern culture, and then Southern California lifestyles. What was it
Yes.
like transitioning between all that, especially at an early age and really kind of pivotal points in your life?
Well, the summers were amazing because like all my family, my cousins, we would all meet in Mobile. They lived in California at the time. So the summers were good, but moving to the West Coast, I think it was a little challenging because when I left, my two sisters were still in New England with my mom. I went to stay with my dad's side of the family. So that was a little tough for me, but I'm very resilient and, always thinking positive, even at a young age.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you had, I mean, you moved a lot of places and you went, you had to be that adaptable and resilient for that. What, you said you spent a lot of time with your grandparents. So what memories or values from that time are still instilled in you so that you stay rooted today?
Okay, so my grandparents are very loving, very close. It was a very close-knit family. My dad's side, it was 9 children. I think it was like about 70 grandkids at the time. So they were a very loving, caring family. I just always remember my grandmother said to me, I want to say I was like 9 years old. She said, never change who you are. Never let anybody make you believe that you can't do anything that you want to do in life. So I just feel like they build a lot of confidence and created a very strong foundation for me and my cousins and my family.
Yeah. And that roots, right? I always say we have our roots
Yeah.
and they really show us where we're going in life. And doesn't mean that sometimes we're not going to change that. But there was one experience that you had, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but you interned at the Long Beach Naval Shipyard. What did that opportunity teach you about discipline and professionalism?
Oh my God, I was 13, a summer program. 13 years old as an intern on Long Beach Naval Shipyard. It taught me how to be present, be dependable, and be on time, right? Because it's on a military base. I was in the engineering department. And so my uncle was in the Navy for years. And he kind of mentored me a lot. I was the oldest niece on my mom's side. I was oldest niece, oldest granddaughter on my mom's side. So he was an engineer too. So he was like, hey, that's a great department to be with. And we just talked all the time. He taught me how to play chess. He said chess, not checkers. So yeah, so I just feel like all the experience taught me how to be responsible, reliable, and be who I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's something that's, if you don't get that instilled at a young age, that's hard to sometimes get into, because that is, I mean, it's regimented, it's timely, all that. One question I have is, looking back, what would young Ingrid be most proud of today?
Young Ingrid would be proud of pursuing my career and being a mother at the same time, a young mother, a young wife. I'm proud of myself when I look back now, but at the time you're like, oh my God, how is this gonna happen? But I'm so proud of myself. And so sometimes I feel like when people don't really know where you came from, they want you not to be the light that you are. But
Yeah.
that's just who I am. They want you to downplay who you are, but they don't really know your story and where you're coming from. So
Yeah.
I walk with confidence. I'm a leader. I just feel that I'm a leader because I always had to lead my family, my cousins. You know what I mean? So that's just who I am as a person. So for someone to want to break you down or want you not to be the confident person, that's just not who I am.
Yep. Never dull your sparkle for someone else. Yep.
Right.
Yep. So similarly, what would be the one thing that you wish young Ingrid knew when she was young
Ooh.
that you know now?
I talked to my youngest daughter about this because I remember when she said, "Mom, I'm pregnant." I was like, "Oh my God, my mom had me young. I had my oldest daughter young, so I was like, well, I'm here for you always, but I just feel like maybe not have a child so young. You know what I mean? But it still never stopped me, but it encouraged me to push forward. And I told my daughters that I was like, you could have kids later in life, but hey, things happen, right?
Yep. Yep. Well, we're gonna take a quick break. And when we
Okay.
come back, we're going to talk about rooted in family, strength, and reinvention. But before we go, Ingrid, tell folks how they can learn about you, know more about all that you do, your wonderful swim line, and just how they can connect with you.
So I am on social media, all over social media, because it's just so it's just helpful to be on social media because
Yeah.
when I'm juggling a whole bunch of things and different projects and stuff, so they can find me on social media, Ingrid Campbell, and also Blue Topaz Swimwear is on Instagram, Blue Topaz Swimwear, and I'm also Ingrid Danny. My middle name is Danielle, but it's Ingrid Danny on IG as well. So
Perfect.
that's where they can find me.
Awesome. You're listening to Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills. Living it up, loving it up, letting it go. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
If you're feeling stressed, overwhelmed, or in grief, I'm here to help. I'm Faye Lau, intuitive healer and founder of Faye Inspired Healing. Through soul-guided sessions, I help you reconnect with your body's wisdom and inner truth. Whether you're healing from loss, letting go of pain, or rising into elevated energies, my work combines energy clearing, grief support, and spiritual coaching. Schedule a session or learn more at fayeinspiredhealing.com.
Imagine having a team of top-notch attorneys and identity protection experts right at your fingertips 24/7. That's the power of Legal Shield and ID Shield. Legal Shield gives you access to affordable legal services for everything from contracts to traffic tickets. And ID Shield protects your personal information, and it's monitored against identity theft with restoration support if anything goes wrong. Visit the link in the show notes of this episode for more information.
You're thinking your purpose in life? Become a certified hypnotherapist and regressionist today. Bryn Blankenship is a renowned certified master hypnotherapist, international instructor, and author. In addition to her own show, Afterlife Teacher, Soul Lessons Bringing You Full Circle, Bryn is a popular radio show guest who speaks about
what if you're trained?
We remember it.
Welcome back to Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills. Living it up, loving it up, letting it go. If you missed any portion of today's episode, you can catch it at getrootedradio.com. Don't forget to subscribe online to receive the latest news, events, specials, and words of encouragement. Go to getrootedradio.com. Welcome back to my guest, Ingrid Campbell. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So during the first segment, we discussed rooted beginnings, how environment, culture, and early experiences shape resilience, adaptability, and identity. And during this segment, we're going to talk about rooted in family, strength, and reinvention, specifically balancing motherhood, career growth, and life transition while continuing to evolve. So you had told us in the last segment that you married young, you became a mother early, and you built a family while navigating really major life transitions. What did those years teach you about resilience?
It taught me that, you build your strength through different experiences, different obstacles, challenges, but still at the same time, I had to be everything for my kids. You know what I mean? So I just felt like with the kids, they need to look up to you. You want your children to look up to you. And also like I had so many people that they had to lean on me for strength. So it just taught me just to keep going, follow your dreams, and I do a lot of praying. I do a lot of just meditating, taking time out from an early young age. And I journaled a lot since I was 8 years old. I journaled. And I think we're going to talk about this later, but that's how I wrote my first book, through everything that I journaled from the age of 8 years old.
Yep. I love that. Now, you and your husband made the decision to relocate back east to raise your family. How did that chapter shape your personal and professional growth?
I just feel like it was good for, I think it was good for a family, because growing up in California was very expensive. So he was just getting out the military. He was in the Marine Corps. And so, yeah. So,
Hoorah,
yeah.
number 5.
Right. So I just feel like because of the cost of living, to raise a family in Massachusetts was going to be ideal for us.
Well, especially as you were going through to continuing on with your career as well.
Right. And so when I moved to Massachusetts, once I went back as an adult, I actually was a director for Sovereign Bank New England. I was a cash management director. So I handled Boston. I had an office in Massachusetts and Hartford, Connecticut. So I did a lot of navigating through that area, and also kids going to school, taking them to school, and being a parent and balancing being a wife at the same time.
We wear many hats, don't we? So,
Ooh, yes.
you know, truly family is important to you. I mean, you are a mother of 3, grandmother of 5, if I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong there. But how has family influenced your definition of success?
Family, because, my dad is the type of person, he was very driven. My mom was the same way. My mom was a dietitian and a cosmetologist. So my mom instilled in me and my sisters, you always got to have something to fall back on, no matter what. So here I am. I became working in IT, but then I also love fashion. So I am licensed cosmetologist from the state of Connecticut. So I renew my license every single year. It's been like since 1999. So my sister has a cosmetology license. She's into computers. And my other sister's a director for Smith College in Northampton, Mass. We all have our cosmetology license. So I just feel like that foundation gave us a balance on, to strive, keep doing. Don't ever say you can't do what you gotta do it. If you make goals and set goals, you got to keep working towards it. And it takes a lot of discipline.
Yeah. And I mean, that's why I always say SMART goals, right? But not just SMART in the corporate sense, right? Not the specific, measurable, attainable, but it's special, memorable, right? Authentic. Because if you're not going after something that is special and memorable and authentic and really real to you and true to you, you're not going to go after them, because it's not something that you really want to do. But if it's something that is deep inside you, you will find a way.
Absolutely.
And so I love that. I love that. Also, that's very smart of your mother to always say, like, hey, have something to fall back on. Not that you can't go out and achieve your dreams, but you might not get them right away. So you still have something to make sure that you get there. Right. That's great. So
yes.
One of the things, because many women wear a lot of hats, we sometimes fall into the superwoman syndrome, trying to do everything for everyone and forgetting about ourselves. We struggle with balancing identity and responsibility, and also delegation, right? Making sure. So how do you stay connected to yourself while you're still pouring something into everyone else?
Oh my God. So I struggled with this for many, many years. And I want to say the last 10 years, I learned to take breaks for myself. Like I said, take trips, take a pause in between whatever. Because to me, I've been doing this all my life. It has never been a dull moment. And so I just feel like for me to pull back and take a trip and just connect sometimes with yourself or your partner or your special people in your life, the people that know you and understand you with no judgment. That's how I had to do it. You know what I mean? My mom would come over. I'm like, listen, I'm going on vacation. on this day, you got to come watch the kids. No problem. And she did that, you know? So just taking time for yourself and not pour so much into everybody else, because at the same time you're pouring, you're taking stuff away from yourself.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
kind of struggle with that. I'm doing better at that now. I pray about that. I pray that I continue on the path of staying balanced and doing for myself first. Because if you don't take the time to do for yourself, then you can't do for others.
Yeah.
And
I
I
mean,
love
it's the saying, right? You can't pour from an
Right.
empty cup. It's true. If you have nothing left to give, then you can't give anything. And it's also, I truly believe your children or your loved ones around you, you show them how you need to be treated. And if they see that it's okay for mom to go depleted, they're going to be the same way as they get older. It's that
Right.
boundary management, right? And self-care and
Mhm.
self-love. You need to
Yes,
love yourself first enough to take those breaks, and that will show other people how you deserve and need to be loved.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's so important. Like, and I like to sleep too. I'm the type of person I used to love naps a lot. Like my girlfriends would be like, she's taking a nap. We already know. Like I love to sleep because I get my rest and I find balance in sleeping and just taking time for yourself. It provides energy, trying to eat healthy, taking time and be good for yourself so that you can pour that into other people, especially the people that you love. It's so
Yeah.
important to me.
Yeah. And I love that because it's more, I always say self-care, and someone's
Mhm.
like, it's more than spa days. Well, don't get me wrong, spa days, absolutely. A
Right.
massage, a pedicure,
Mhm.
a manicure, all that. But it's taking time to do the things that you love, take time that brings you joy, and
Right.
truly good self-care. Going to the doctor, making sure you get your checkups, sleeping, eating, what you put into your body, not just food, not just drink, but what are you listening to? What are you watching? What are you reading? Because that all has that, you know, balance,
That's
making
true.
sure that, you're not gotten those toxic things in you, because thoughts become things.
Right.
So was there ever a moment when you realized that you were meant for more? So beyond but beyond your government career?
Oh my God. I just knew from the beginning because I always felt like I used to say, you know what, when my kids are grown, okay, so I'm gonna have a whole second life. So I just felt like and you know what else I think about? We're not talking about this yet, but I feel like if you have a person that survived 5 major car accidents, I was always a passenger. I just know there's more for me here. I know
Yeah.
my purpose is. I definitely know what my purpose is. When people don't know your vision and your purpose, I know it. It might look strange on the outside, but I know who I am. So that makes me it feels so good to know that you're in a place, you've landed in a place in a direction that you dreamed about and you following your purpose.
Yeah. And that's great because you listen to that. We
Yeah.
don't always listen to that inner GPS, the intuition, right? That voice that tells us there's something more out there. And you are listening to that. And that is important. What made you you said you just knew, what made you decide that, yeah, I want more, I deserve more, I need more, and I'm going to go get it.
But maybe when you have kids and you want the best life for your kids, you're just gonna. I'm very driven, so I'm like, listen, I want my kids to live this a certain way. I want us to have this, you know what I mean? And at the
Yep.
same time, I just feel that that was my major force to make sure my kids understand that they can do the same thing and be a leader and let them watch you. You don't want them to see you doing stuff that's not of you and that's not becoming for them later in life.
Yeah. Not what brings you joy, not what gives you fulfillment. Yeah.
Right.
I love that. Well, let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about that purpose. We're going to talk about rooted in purpose. But before
Right.
we go, Ingrid, tell folks again how they can connect with you.
You can connect with me on Facebook at Ingrid Campbell and also on Instagram, Ingrid Danny, Danni, or Blue Topaz Swimwear on Instagram.
Wonderful. I'm Erica Gifford Mills, and you are listening to Get Rooted Radio, living it up, loving it up, letting it go. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Imagine having a team of top-notch attorneys and identity protection experts right at your fingertips 24/7. That's the power of Legal Shield and ID Shield. Legal Shield gives you access to affordable legal services for everything from contracts to traffic tickets. And ID Shield protects your personal information, and it's monitored against identity theft with restoration support if anything goes wrong. Visit the link in the show notes of this episode for more information.
You're thinking your purpose in life? Become a certified hypnotherapist and regressionist today. Bryn Blankenship is a renowned certified master hypnotherapist, international instructor, and author. In addition to her own show, Afterlife Teacher, Soul Lessons Bringing You Full Circle, Bryn is a popular radio show guest who speaks about her soul expression spiritual regression, her transformative method for finding and following your soul's guidance. For more information on her hypnoregression and afterlife regression certification programs, visit brynblankenship.com.
What if your training isn't enough? The Multicultural Mindset Podcast invites counselors and therapists to unlearn the one-size-fits-all approach. This isn't cultural competence. It's a way of being that brings racialized experiences from the margins to the very center of care. Let's stop pathologizing Black pain and start challenging the system that created the bias in the first place. Visit newseasons.training to subscribe.
We remember a time when you could simply form a thought and it would manifest. The harmony was forgotten, but it is returning now. The Power of Inspiration and Awakening Radio with Julia will take you on adventures through the heart and spirit, exploring who we once were and how to awaken that power today. Julia studied under the guidance of wolves, learning from their wisdom to master a higher frequency for new state of mind. Learn to master the secrets of manifestation. Visit onetrueself.com.
If you're feeling stressed, overwhelmed, or in grief, I'm here to help. I'm Faye Lau, intuitive healer and founder of Faye Inspired Healing. Through soul-guided sessions, I help you reconnect with your body's wisdom and inner truth. Whether you're healing from loss, letting go of pain, or rising into elevated energies, my work combines energy clearing, grief support, and spiritual coaching.
We're back on Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills, living it up, loving it up, letting it go. Don't forget to visit getrootedradio.com to listen to a replay of this episode, sign up for helpful tips, and learn about upcoming events. That's getrootedradio.com. Welcome back to my guest, Ingrid Campbell. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
So during the last segments, we discussed rooted beginnings and rooted in family, strength, and reinvention. Now, during this segment, we're going to really discuss the purpose side of it: leadership, service, mentorship, and creating impact through professional excellence. So you have been doing that for so many years, right? You, over 27 years supporting federal government agencies in Washington, D.C. Area. And during that chapter of your life, what are you most proud of?
Oh my God. So I want to say I remember moving to the DC area in 2000. And I had came to visit a friend like in Northern Virginia and Fairfax County area. And so I was like, oh, I like it here. Came to visit. And I remember I said, I think I want to relocate here. I still had a house in Connecticut, which I leased out when I moved down here in 2000. I brought my youngest daughter, the two older one was going to college and one was finishing high school. So I left them with their dad. But I kind of remember like just loving this area. And I remember coming, actually applying for jobs and coming down New Jersey Turnpike. I got so many calls about, listen, we want to talk to you about jobs. We want to talk, like so many job offers. Even before I got here, we want to talk to you. How soon could you start? So I was a little bit overwhelmed. And I remember taking a job with Homeland Security when I first got to the area. And so they had me on this project where we were recruiting interns for engineering project, worked with them for a while. I wanted to be a contractor because I wanted to learn more about the government, more about the DMV area. So I began contracting. And I loved it because each time when I finished one project, another agency called and another project. So I really love that. And they had me to kind of like do a mentorship program at my favorite agency, which was NASA. So in the evenings, I would like do tutoring for young students that want to be into engineering and space work, space technology, weather service. So that's how I began, starting taking folks under my wings.
Yeah. And now
Mhm.
you've received many awards and recognition for those outreach and mentoring activities. Why? I mean, we all know that mentorship is important, right? I mean, I have a mentor, I mentor people, but why has that always been so important to you?
Because I feel like when you're a leader and you want other folks to have a chance to, live their dreams, right? Follow their dreams. You kind of want to lead and guide them. So that has always been my personality. So that's why it's so important to me to give back. I want to give back and be of service. You know what I mean? For me, God tells us to be of service. So I want to be the person that gives back and be of service.
Yeah. And I mean, just like I said, don't dull your shine for everyone. You can also light somebody else's candle and that won't dull your
Absolutely.
shine, right? And that's what I'm hearing from you, right? Is that you want other people to be lit, right? Let's light your candle, because I think that is that when you help one another and I was building this community, and it was beyond networking, right? My biggest part of the conversation was, if you're not willing to reach down and pull somebody up the ladder with you, I don't know if I want you in this community, because
Absolutely.
it's all about collaboration over competition, right? The more we can get out of that competition mindset and we can help one another, I mean, that's what we want. That's what's going to make the world a better place.
I agree.
Yeah. So you work with a lot of young professionals, and what would be the number one or top three, whatever you want to give here, advice to find confidence in the corporate or government spaces?
Well, for government spaces, I think to always be open to learning, always be open to training, you know what I mean? And just being flexible in the government space, being flexible and just wherever, begin wherever you start and just grow from there. Be willing to grow and take constructive criticism, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
I say especially in the government space, because not every governmental entity department does things the same way,
Totally different.
and there very good reason for some of that, right? And sometimes there's not, but we have to be flexible, right? Just like
Right.
they say, overcome, adapt. uh
Absolutely.
you got to what was it? I remember when my son was going through boot camp and his career in the Marines, it was Semper Gumby, always flexible, right? So
Right.
that's what I think about is Semper Gumby. If and maybe I'm dating myself, but Gumby and Pokey, be
Oh,
flexible. But
right.
it is important. I mean, and that's that flexibility with also respecting your boundaries, right? And we got to make sure that you're doing that. So
That's true.
now you've continued mentoring while launching your business. Why do you believe that lifting that others up when you're trying to lift yourself up, right? You're trying to do some more. Why continue doing that during that time?
Because it's what I love, and I just feel it just comes natural for me. So I have a girlfriend, we've been friends for like 47 years. And I remember we were in sixth grade together, and she still say this today. Like I was always the one that if they didn't have anything to wear, I want them to wear something nice. If their hair wasn't, I'm gonna do their hair. That's just who I am. She's probably listening right now. She's probably listening, she's crying because that's just how she is. But I just feel like when you lift others up, it doesn't matter who it is, you get it back. It comes back. It comes back. The door is open.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Karma works both ways, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So today, in this stage of your life, what does legacy mean to you?
Legacy means to me creating a foundation so my grandkids and my children can know, like, listen, my mom worked so hard to get exactly where to get to this point. so that way maybe they can take over and do exactly what I'm doing, to carry it on, to carry my legacy on. I talked to my granddaughter about this yesterday because she was so excited. She finally saw the Runway show and she's just looking at me. She said, Nana, how did you do that? And I was like, you know what? I said, this is what I want you to do. I want you to do this like for your fun thing, you know, while you're going to school, going to college. And she said, oh, we got to talk about this. So she was so excited. Her little eyes just lit all the way up yesterday.
Ah, I love that. And legacy, I mean, I feel you, because legacy is so important. When I lost Connor, I wanted to make sure that his legacy continued, right? His lightness, the way he could light up a room, and his caring nature and how he wanted to help others, it was on. And that to me is extremely important, because he's the most important person in my life. And I think that legacy, when you look at your values and what you want to do going forward and what you want to be known for, right? I think that's like, when I'm gone, I want somebody, what are they going to say about me? What are they going to say I did? And I'm hoping that that's, you know, I joke with my sisters and said, if I'm ever kidnapped, don't go on Dateline and say, I lit up a room, she loved everybody. You know, I like 3 people. No, I'm just kidding. But I do want, I want my legacy to be, you know, she helped other people. She was a mentor. You know, she had a mouth on her, but she had a big heart, right? I want it. I want that. But I want to live that while I'm here. I want to see the fruits of my actions. So yeah, I totally understand what you're saying. So what would be, if listeners could take away one thing with regards to specifically rooted in purpose, what would that be? What would you say you need to make sure that you're doing to create that impact, to be that leader, to be that member, and to be service to somebody?
Take the time to help others, right? Surround yourself with like-minded people, very transparent people that you trust, right? And be of service. It doesn't, like you said, it doesn't take away anything to give back to somebody else or help somebody else or give a word of encouragement. I post all the time because that's who I am. I've been posting forever because I am a thinker. So I write it out. Like I used to journal, remember? So Facebook gave me the ability to write out sometimes what I'm thinking, right? And share. I remember I was a member of this group. It was like 100,000. It had came to 100,000 people in a fitness group. And I remember a lady saying to me, she was like, you know, I look at your fitness journey. I watch the different things that you post in your speakeasy. I have this group called the Speakeasy. And she just said, I was really down one day and I was like, oh my God, let me just go look and see what Ingrid posts. So it might not mean anything to anybody else, but keep doing what you love to do and keep giving back and follow your dreams. Your vision is your vision. And another thing, some people don't know their purpose. Figure it out. Learn what your purpose is, because then it's so freeing. It's so easy, right? It might seem like, oh my gosh, she's doing a whole lot, but guess what? It's what I love. I'm doing what I love, what I prayed for.
Yeah, and that's important, because it's when that's when I started my business. My father asked me a question and goes, "Do you love what you do?" And I said, well, I'm good at it. He says, that wasn't the question. The question was, do you love what you do? Because if you don't, you don't want to wake up every morning and go out there. So love what you do. Yeah, you might not like it all the time, right? There might be tasks, part of it. That's life. But figure out what you love and go do it, right? It's that passion, purpose, you know, the Ikagi, right? Passion, purpose, and what you're meant for. Yeah. So, well, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to finish out the show with Rooted in Boldness, fashion, visibility, bit about your book, and Blue Topaz Swimwear. This is Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills. Living it up, loving it up, letting it go. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Imagine having a team of top-notch attorneys and identity protection experts right at your fingertips 24/7. That's the power of Legal Shield and ID Shield. Legal Shield gives you access to affordable legal services for everything from contracts to traffic tickets. And ID Shield protects your personal information, and it's monitored against identity theft with restoration support if anything goes wrong. Visit the link in the show notes of this episode for more information.
You're thinking your purpose in life? Become a certified hypnotherapist and regressionist today. Bryn Blankenship is a renowned certified master hypnotherapist, international instructor, and author. In addition to her own show, Afterlife Teacher, Soul Lessons Bringing You Full Circle, Bryn is a popular radio show guest who speaks about her soul expression spiritual regression, her transformative method for finding and following your soul's guidance. For more information on her hypnoregression and afterlife regression certification programs, visit brynblankenship.com.
What if your training isn't enough? The Multicultural Mindset Podcast invites counselors and therapists to unlearn the one-size-fits-all approach. This isn't cultural competence. It's a way of being that brings racialized experiences from the margins to the very center of care. Let's stop pathologizing Black pain and start challenging the system that created the bias in the first place. Visit newseasons.training to subscribe.
We remember a time when you could simply form a thought and it would manifest. The harmony was forgotten, but it is returning now. The Power of Inspiration and Awakening Radio with Julia will take you on adventures through the heart and spirit, exploring who we once were and how to awaken that power today. Julia studied under the guidance of wolves, learning from their wisdom to master a higher frequency for new state of mind. Learn to master the secrets of manifestation. Visit onetrueself.com.
If you're feeling stressed, overwhelmed, or in grief, I'm here to help. I'm Faye Lau, intuitive healer and founder of Faye Inspired Healing. Through soul-guided sessions, I help you reconnect with your body's wisdom and inner truth. Whether you're healing from loss, letting go of pain, or rising into elevated energies, my work combines energy clearing, grief support, and spiritual coaching. Schedule a session or learn more at fayeinspiredhealing.com.
Welcome back to Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills. Living it up, loving it up, letting it go. If you missed any of the information during the last segments, go to getrootedradio.com to listen to the replay. Don't forget to subscribe, sign up for tips and special events, and pricing for upcoming coaching sessions at getrootedradio.com. Welcome back to my guest, Ingrid Campbell. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Now, tell listeners how they can connect with you. And also, you mentioned during the last segment that you have a private group called the Speakeasy. Tell listeners how they can reach that group and, I won't say apply to get in, but to, be part of that group and get all your wisdom.
So I created that group like 7 years ago. It's on Facebook. You could just send a request on Facebook. It's called the Speakeasy. Speakeasy. It's not even it's Speakeasy.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So during the last segments, we discussed rooted beginnings, rooted in family, strength and reinvention, and rooted in purpose. During this last segment, we're going to discuss rooted in boldness, right? Fashion, visibility, and Blue Topaz Swimwear, and stepping into entrepreneurship, visibility, creativity, and fearless reinvention. Because I told you folks, you are never too old to reinvent yourself. So you just launched Blue Topaz Swimwear in 2022. What inspired you to take that leap?
Okay, so I was that person. Every year I buy a whole bunch of swimsuits. Every year, like about in February. I love swimsuits. And so every year, every few months, me and my girlfriend would take a trip. So we would all compare. We would compare different swimwear, swimsuits. So I remember it was during COVID. And I was living in Fort Lauderdale right before COVID. I was in Fort Lauderdale, and a young lady had a swim line. Matter of fact, it's Matte Collection. It's another swim line. So I ran into her in Charlotte in the airport, and she said, "I would love for you to model for me." And I was like, oh, okay, that sounds nice. But in my mind, I'm like, no, because I'm going to do the swimwear. I'm going to create my own swimwear line. So because I love fashion, I did makeup behind the scenes for the last so many years. I love swimwear. I love the beach. I grew up in Southern California. My Mobile is right on the coast, right there at Port City. So I love that. So I said, you know what? I'm just gonna do a swimwear line during COVID. Keep myself busy. I was working remotely at home, going crazy in the house, working online. So
Yeah.
I just said I'm gonna start. So I launched Blue Topaz Swimwear.
I love it. And okay, go out to Instagram and check Blue Topaz Swimwear out. She has, and oh my gosh, I'm even like, okay, I will go out on a runway in one of your swimsuits because they're made for and I say everybody, not just everybody, everybody. So,
Right.
yes.
Right.
So many women have dreams like this, like you did, that they delay pursuing. I always say, why are we stop waiting for permission? So what gave you that courage to say, now is the time? Besides that you were bored during COVID, right? That now is the time.
I was just thinking, I said, oh my God, I said, I'm gonna be 60. I'm going to 55. I'm gonna be 55. I'm getting, gonna be 60 soon in a few more years, right? And I said, I want to do something creative, something that's fun, happy, and at the same time, guess what? Creating other people's dreams. Here we go. The models they're doing some great stuff. I'm telling you, like 2 just signed a contract, a 6-figure contract. Like my first guy signed a contract like 2 months after walking with me. He said, could we collaborate? Because I wanted to have you on my page so they can see that I can walk and I love your swimwear. And he and his mother like messaged me and was like, thank you for creating a foundation for him, because I was telling him, you got to stay grounded. This is a very tricky industry. You know what I mean? So it's just so fun. I love it. I love creating designs. I love just being creative. I'm creative, and at the same time, I'm a deep thinker. So my wheels are always spinning. Like, what's next?
And I love that because you stopped waiting. Let's just do it. And recently, I mean, you were in New York Fashion Week, and recently, just within the last, 2.5 weeks or so, not even, you were in Swim Week in Miami. What has that whole journey felt like emotionally?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you. So when I launched in April 2022, my dream was to walk for Miami Swim Week show the following year, because it was April. And I just wanted to kind of learn more about the industry, learn more about designing, learn more about the business, because it's an international show and people come from all over. But they reached out to me in June. They saw me on Instagram. I was just starting, posting, just being creative. And so I was like, I'm not ready for June. I said, but I knew they had a show, Art Basel, in December every year. And so I said, I'll try for December. It was my birthday. I said, I'll try for December. And it was Paul McCartney had a fundraiser, and I walked for that fundraiser. They were selling all kinds of art. It was amazing. So I just feel like now emotionally, I want to say this, it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of work that I love to do, right? But at the same time, I'm working another full-time job, but something else I love. So it's balancing. I'm balancing everything out. Emotionally, sometimes it can get exhausting, but then I wake up and be like, but this is what I love. I wouldn't change one thing about it, because I see it growing and growing, and it's going a lot of different places. And we're going to talk about that later. You and I separately know what I'm working on now. So I'm excited about that too.
Yes, for sure. So you mentioned visibility, right? Because you got to get yourself out there. And that's a big thing I tell my clients, is you need to be seen, you need to be heard, you are worthy, you deserve it. Same thing in mental health. We need to be loud, we're louder than the silence. So how important is visibility for women, especially women who are reinventing themselves later in life?
It's very important. It's very important. You have to connect like I feel like networking, a lot
Mhm.
of collaboration, and a lot of like social media is there for that. If you use it correctly, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like I've received like yesterday I looked at my views and stuff and my record on the dashboard. I had over 218,000 reviews since 2 weeks ago because of that show. So just putting it out there, posting. And again, folks, are you always posting? Absolutely, because that's how I branded myself. Somebody wanted to charge me $8,000 to help me brand myself when I first started. I said, nope, I'm gonna do it myself. I'm gonna make it work.
I say visibility is your responsibility. If you're not willing to toot your own horn, who else is going to toot it for you? Right. So it's not about bragging. And I think that's what sometimes women think I'm being braggadocious. I'm saying, oh, look at me, look at me. It's not. You're building an image, you're building a brand. And in order to do that, if they can't see you, they can't find you, how are they going to buy something from you, learn something from you? How are you going to educate? How are you going to get a mission out? And I think that's really important. Now, 2 more questions, because I know we only have about 4 minutes left. So you have a book. It's titled The Time Has Come to Tell My Story. What made you finally tell your story, and how can listeners get that book?
Okay, so I've been journaling since I was 8 years old, goes back there. And I came to the area, I moved to DC area, and I had this journal. And I took 7 months just to self-care for me. Started writing this book, the manuscript, submitted it to 3 different publishing companies. 3 came back. 1 made me a great offer. Still getting paid residually from that book. I launched in 2014. I had a book signing here in DC area. It was this place called Busboys Employed in 2014. It was amazing. And what made me do that? It was just time. I had a lot of stuff inside. As you're growing, you're learning. The book right now is like, oh my God, I was all over the place because I was all over the place, but it's an amazing book. My girlfriends, they said, we cry, we laugh, but it's me. Everybody has a story, and that story is my story, right?
I love it.
Yes.
And people can find it on Amazon.
It is on Amazon. It was in Barnes and Noble. It's on Google. It's out there.
So The Time Has Come to Tell My Story, folks. Look it up. So one final question. When people hear this episode, because it's out there live right now, but it goes out to podcast tomorrow. When people hear this interview, what do you hope they walk away believing about themselves?
I hope that they walk away with trusting in their journey, good and bad, you know what I mean? And just pushing forward no matter what. Being inspired, being motivated, and just willing to just learn and grow and heal. You know what I mean? I just feel like heal people, they're like butterflies. We're like, okay, we may not appear that we've been through anything, but we have. Some of us have, right? And just keep following your dreams and
don't give up.
Your goals, right? Don't give up. Keep going, moving forward.
Yes. Thank you again, Ingrid, for being on the show today. And I'm wishing you the best in the future. I don't have to say best of luck because you are going places. And I get to say, I know her. I interviewed her. So thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. And I look forward to talking with you soon.
Yes. And I want to thank you all for tuning in to Get Rooted Radio. If you missed any part of today's episode and want to listen again, go to getrootedradio.com for the podcast. And don't forget to tune in the first and third Monday of each month at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central, and 2 p.m. Pacific, right here on Transformation Talk Revolution. As we close out today's episode, I want to remind you that you are worthy. What you say, what you do matters. And if you are hurting or need help, please know the world needs you and is a better place with you in it. Don't let the hard days win. Reach out for assistance. You can call, text, or chat the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, or text HOME, HOME, to 741-741 to reach a trained crisis counselor through Crisis Text Line. Both are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and are free. Thank you for tuning in. I'm looking forward to the next time on Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills. Living it up, loving it up, letting it go. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you for listening to Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills, living it up, loving it up, and letting it go. Visit GetRootedRadio.com if you've missed any part of this hit show, and tune in on TransformationTalkRadio.com to live fearlessly in your more and powerfully rooted in your unlimited yes. For more information and to work with Erica directly, visit GetRootedRadio.com. That's GetRootedRadio.com, and get ready to live it up, love it up, and let it go.